What a great name, by the way, for his endure. Unlock the Croc.
Oh god.
Oh, that's he's stolen the deck. I see.
All right, so got all of those situated. Let me check out this stream, get that up for you guys. We will get you underway here in the top 4 of the online league series just as soon as everything's figured out. Pedro Orb Meister's already into his game if we actually want to pop over to that one.
Yeah, we can pop in temporarily if you fancy. We can have a little nosy.
Yeah. Just to get you guys some action going here. Let me pull that up, get you guys over to that. Bada bing, bada boom.
Ah, the Poro deck. Beautiful.
All right, so yeah, I had to reopen Pedro's stream so that we could keep an eye on that one so that we can hop over when they actually get started up. But Orb Meister, okay, so Maykon Jaxson's lineup was pretty standard. It was the TF Swain, it was the Endure Spiders, and it was, I believe, Viheimer or Karma Ezreal. Don't think we're going to see either one of those, but Orb Meister definitely going to have an uphill battle in this one. I think the Poros are finally going to catch up to him, although he did manage to make it to the top 4 with the deck, so that's something.
A solid make it rain might make this a very, very upsetting deck to play against for sure. But you know what? I'd say making it to top 4 with a Poro deck is a win. Right?
I think that is the best that I have seen a Poro deck do in my entire lifespan of my competitive Runeterra.
Like ever.
Yeah, pretty much ever. I don't think we've ever seen, even especially in beta.
Yeah, they were particularly worse back then.
I think the closest we saw was back when Frostbite Ezreal was like first coming out as a deck. Swim was trying a like lonely Poro herder rummage engine, and that's about as close as we got. But that was really just for the rummages, and you know, obviously Elnux came out after the fact, and everybody was like, okay, this is just a lot better.
Poro deck dream one day. Kind of for
Doesn't actually get any value out of the barrel, and then just has a pass. Orb Meister, I'd be a little surprised to see him take this one, actually. He doesn't have a great use of the spell mana. Oh, it's just going to take it, though. That's one of the situations where I feel like it wasn't a bait on Maykon Jaxson's part. I feel like they just actually didn't have anything to play, and I would have liked to see Orb Meister get down the Shadow Assassin, but I don't think he's particularly mad to hold the spell mana either, since he does have the Will of Ionia and the Deep Meditation, so I feel like that one's just kind of, you know, a decision to be made, and, you know, can't be mad at the decision that he did make. And there we see the Mighty Poro, gonna be able to block the TF. Maybe that's why it's in the deck, to block Twisted Fates.
It's the only point of the entire thing, isn't it? To ensure that Twisted Fate. He actually thought so far ahead.
And he's once again finding fearsome Poros, which is actually going to do about as much work as an elusive Poro would, as there are Zap Spray Fins in Maykon Jaxson's deck. So this fearsome Poro, just pulling the second one, I don't know what it is, but Orb Meister just seems to consistently pull the same Poros, and he pulls pretty good ones.
I love the Zap Spray Fin in this deck, by the way, pulling quite a few good spells, I think. It's like it's got a lot of burn cards with the fervor and the death. Obviously, it's to set off the Swain, but it feels great. I'm a big fan of Zap Spray Fin. I think people underestimate his power at times.
Yeah, we don't see him come out in too many decks. He does, I don't know, when we saw Zap Spray Fin revealed, everybody thought, okay, this card's absolutely insane. And then, like, after actually playing with it for a while, everyone's like, okay, you know, like, it's good, it's not great, it doesn't really fit into as many decks as we kind of initially thought it did, and it's kind of just been relegated to, like, TF Swain specifically at this point, just because it does have so many 3-cost or less removal options, but that's really just, like, the Noxian side of things. There's not a whole lot for it to actually grab out of Bilgewater. And I'm actually not sure what Orb Meister is agonizing over on this block. Probably just Death's Hand, thinking that Maykon Jaxson has to have it if they're attacking with the TF, but this is one of the situations. I agree with Meister. I think you have to make them have it.
Which is always nice to see.
Yeah, Noxian Fervor nowhere near as good as Death's Hand. Yeah, Orb Meister doesn't look too mad at that one. Seems pretty happy with it.
The 200 IQ player. The conspirator into the lonely Poro for more Poros.
This is actually, Orb Meister's got a decent chance to push quite a bit of damage here. Can play this Fearsome Poro and either attack with that or bounce it back with the Navori Conspirator. I'm not sure. I kind of want to bounce the Lonely Poro, but the fact that it's a 2-2, I kind of like that. You know, it pairs up pretty well as an attacker. All right, you know what? Get it out of here. I don't care that it's a 2-2. Just play that Navori Conspirator, replay that Poro. You can Will of Ionia next turn.
Swain. If Swain gets to attack the Nexus once, I think the entire board on Orb Meister's side will forever be gone.
I actually really like bouncing the Lonely Poro and attacking with the 2 elusives. Actually, this is probably fine as well.
Gets more damage, right? Because he's trying to...
Yeah. I think it's the same amount of damage either way. You would have just ended up with another Poro in hand, but I definitely like holding back the Will of Ionia. I think you 100% hold that back until Maykon actually attacks with the Swain, because if you bounce it now, then, you know... Actually, I'm a little surprised to see him play the Fearsome Poro and then bounce the Jubilant Poro. Actually, he's going to attack with it as well. It's definitely just going to get blocked by the Swain.
I just realized I was a little bit behind.
Oh, sorry.
That's right, it notified me to speed up a little bit.
Yeah, a little surprised to see the throwaway on the Fearsome Poro, because I definitely feel like you're going to Will of Ionia the Swain on the attack. These Windfarer hatchlings have been bailing Orb Meister out so often.
The real MVP of this deck so far, for sure. Sadly, however, that stun's not nice.
Yeah, and this is just Maykon committing resources to try and get this Swain attack through, but why are these Poros working, Wolf? I don't I don't understand.
Believing in the heart of the cards and the power of friendship and love.
They do kind of look like... Is Karibo a Poro?
Oh. I mean, not canonically, but we can make that be the case.
Because I'm just thinking about the anatomy of a Karibo, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty Poro-shaped.
It's very similar, isn't it? Wasn't there like a colourful one as well, a colourful Karibo?
There's a rainbow Karibo.
That's the one, yeah. And there's a winged one as well. So
yeah.
Actually, they're very similar. Hang on a second, we're onto something here, my dude.
And it looks like it actually... Oh, no, it is going to be the full-on attack, but I think Orb Meister actually has a potential lethal next turn. He's going to go for the Will of Ionia onto the Swain here, but that's going to leave him Shadow Assassin mana as well as Plucky Poro mana, and then just going into the Windfarer Hatchling next turn does give him 6 units. So that Windfarer essentially functioning as a 12/12, thanks to all of these stat buffs that it will distribute across the board.
Little update in terms of the other game with Golden Prodigy and Franco Dell. They're still currently doing bans, I think, actually. So
yeah, good thing we hopped into Orb Meister.
Yeah, we might also be able to, in turn, actually watch 2 full things, which would be exciting. See both the semis.
I'm not gonna lie though, I did not think Orb Meister was going to be able to pick up a win with the Poros here, and since Maykon Jaxson could get stuck on this TF Swain, I think Orb Meister actually has a pretty good shot at advancing to the finals, just given how aggressive his lineup is and how TF Swain... Historically, Burn is probably one of the rougher matchups that you can have. You do have a decent amount of brick potential. Things like the Swain spell, who's Ravenous Flock, doesn't pair super well into aggro decks as they don't get damaged too often. They tend to die as soon as they take a point of damage.
There's a level of sadness, I think, whenever you have a Swain that's so close to level up, and you're against Poros that really shouldn't be able to block you, somehow being able to block quite well. There's the Poro snacks as well. This is actually really good.
Yeah, and this Windfarer Hatchling does present lethal. These are some big elusive units. And unless a Will of Ionia was stolen off the top by that black market merchant, Orb Meister probably just wins right here.
Have you ever pulled the enemy Poro snack as a...
Okay, maybe that's it. Maybe he's like, oh, Pilfer's so popular, how do you feel about taking Poro snacks?
It's a useless 3-burst.
I'm just sitting here looking at all of the useless cards in Orb Meister's deck. We have Poro snacks, Mighty Poro, Poro Herder.
He's fishing hard, dude. He's fishing real hard.
Yeah, this is not looking great. Okay.
Oh.
That comes out. You still need a removal spell.
GG.
I'm thinking there could be Death's Hand or Noxian Fervor onto the Windfarer Hatchling. That is the one sort of vulnerable unit, but I'm not sure that you actually can clean up enough of the board to not lose on the following turn. Elixir of Iron is definitely not going to get it done in... That's not a Death's Hand. That's a Twisted Fates pick a card, and that's actually Orb Meister picking up game number 1 with the Poros.
Wow, I am so done with this deck. I'm shocked.
What am I watching right now? This is...
No, okay. This is proof of what we were talking about earlier. This was not the Poros that won this deck. Maybe the low-cost units to buff up the Greenglade isn't a dumb idea. Maybe it's actually really...
Yeah, this Windfarer Hatchling and the Greenglade duo have been getting in a lot of work thanks to the Poros specifically, and while I'm not necessarily willing to say this is the new elusive standard for here on out, you know, I am starting to come around a little bit more to the strategy as a whole.
Being proven wrong live on stream. Let's go back to this Prankster deck, which is a really good deck in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan. I think it pairs into the TF Swain pretty well as well. I'd have to actually check the removal suite that Maykon Jaxson has brought in this deck. That's what I was afraid to see. There are no copies of Culling Strike, which I do think is one of the best Noxian cards against this deck. So if it is the TF Swain coming back out, I think Orb Meister might just be favored in this one.
Thing is, Orb Meister's Prankster deck has, you know, no late game cards, so I don't know how Maykon Jaxson's going to get to a point where he can start locking down a board with Swain, Leviathan. Like, his early game strength is not really the best as well. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of removal in the TF Swain, but it is rather high cost, and by that I mean you do need a unit to sacrifice to the Noxian Fervor. If you don't open with Dreadway Deckhand, then all these 3 health units are actually going to be extremely difficult for Maykon Jaxson to deal with, and Callista is going to be fairly easy to upgrade, and there's nothing that Maykon Jaxson is going to be able to do about that, and not having the Deckhand on 2, or at least not playing it pre-combat, which makes sense. If you play it pre-combat, then the Boom Crew gets to just challenge onto the barrel, and you need to save that, but doesn't come out a post-combat either, and I think that means Prankster's coming down.
I mean, let's see what could be done here. The Make It Rains and Death Hands are really useful. The Ravenous Flocks will help. It's just, as you say, the Noxian Fervor seems so expensively scary to use. You obviously get, essentially, an additional 2 Ravenous Flocks if your Swain isn't going to die so quickly. Yeah. There might be a Ravenous Flock coming down on that Prankster.
I would have to assume so. And if it doesn't, Orb Meister actually has a phenomenal turn. Oh, double Ravenous Flock.
Ooh, that seems expensive.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about. I mean, that's about as good as it's going to get for you. But Orb Meister kind of has the refuel with this Cursed Keeper and this Ravenous Butcher and this Elise. Like, he's going to get to push through a lot of damage on the following turn. Would have loved to have the Prankster for it, but...
I get what was being done. I feel as though you probably could have just done that with the Prankster and then went to attack with the 2-2, and... maybe just trade it in, but
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see that all come out pre-combat. Although thinking about it, I think it actually makes a lot of sense. If you line up the attacks, I don't think the Prankster actually blocks. I think the Boom Kuroki probably blocks onto the Spiderling, but even then you still have to use the Make It Rain to damage the Prankster, and you do still have to use both Ravenous Flocks to pick everything off, so it makes a bit of sense. It just looks really bad from a spectating perspective because it is so many resources.
I have a feeling that might have pulled something like a Death's Hand for that 3-2 next round, but this round he's probably going to be... Oh, why did he not block the 3-2 with his 2-2?
You know, I was wondering the same thing. I would assume...
he might have that Death's Hand for the 4-2 now.
Maybe. Yeah, that would make the most sense. I was thinking Noxian Guillotine could have been a consideration, and he wants to double cast it onto the 2 units, though that's not as good as just casting it onto 1 unit and killing the other one straight away. Orb Meister even looks a little confused himself, going to get down the Neverglade Collector now.
Another Make It Rain might be coming down with the powder setup. He wouldn't have put the powder keg down for no reason, would he?
I seriously doubt it. Looks like Orb Meister's actually just going to pass.
I would pass this as well.
Yeah, I think he wants to keep that Vile Feast option available if Maykon Jaxson does throw down something with the barrel. He's just going to fire it off on the Zap Strafe and still has the Mystic Shot for the barrel if it comes to it.
Thing you go now is, if he is planning on using a Make It Rain, using it now before that spider spawns is probably the right call.
Yeah, and there is the Make It Rain. Oh, high rolls it too.
Oh.
Orb Meister now has to, yeah, he's going to use the Mystic Shot onto the barrel to save his Escaped Abomination.
Damn,
That is not what you wanted to see if you were Orb Meister, though. That was about as good as it could have gotten.
That was a perfect Make It Rain, I'd say.
Yeah,
I think that's probably the targets he wanted. But great answer. Great answer there from Orb Meister.
Yeah, and I think this Neverglade Collector is going to be a little bit spooky unless Maykon has Swain.
Oh, another one as well.
Oh my gosh, this is so good for Orb Meister.
I feel like this is another scenario where we've seen somebody really use everything they have so early that... Yeah, I wasn't very happy with that double Ravenous Flock earlier, and this kind of just cements.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem that you run into with the TF Swain deck is you don't maintain cards super well. Some games it feels like you have too many cards in hand, and in some games you run into situations like this where it feels like you don't have any, and the Swain coming down does mean that a second Neverglade Collector does get to come down for Orb Meister, but if there is now some sort of removal spell onto the Escaped Abomination, Orb Meister's actually in a scary spot as he won't have any blocker for the Swain. But he might... Honestly, Maykon Jaxson might die if that's the case.
Yeah.
Because the Swain effect will not be enough to clear up any of the Neverglade Collectors. He will take another 6 damage from this Haunted Relic if Orb Meister so chooses. And it's just going to be a pass.
Work out.
I actually love watching Orb Meister. His facial expressions often mirror my own.
Yeah, he pulls the face of the questionable caster look, where we sit down going, "Was that the right play?
Is that what you wanted to do?"
See, like, the thing is though, I do think that he would have wanted to go for face there as well. I mean, what, it might have dropped him to what 9 maybe at the end of that round, but. I just feel as though those Ravenous Flocks were... Ooh.
This is very bad for Orb Meister, who, yeah, is just going to attack with his entire board.
This needs to be blocked pretty perfectly.
I think this might be lethal. If everything gets blocked, that's 10 damage. If everything dies, rather, on the side of Orb Meister, that is 10 damage coming through from the Neverglade Collectors, which will put his opponent at 3, and then the...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
probably the win.
Yeah, I think that's just lethal with this Haunted Relic, and Orb Meister actually going to be moving on to the finals with, yeah,
The Poro deck of fun and love.
this is not how I expected this match to go, but with the TF Swain kind of being the weak link of the lineup here for Maykon Jaxson, not even trying out the Endure Spider deck into Orb Meister's lineup. Yeah, I think he actually just has to let those 3 go, as it will be less damage than blocking them.
It also keeps his board relatively full as well. So
Yeah.
he's only going to get 2 of those.
It does mean he won't be able to play the Haunted Relic for lethal.
Oh, he knows as well. He needs to top deck something real pretty, like a Glimpse Beyond, to be able to get the kill next round, I think.
Yeah, but this does mean that Maykon actually can't attack with the Swain, or it will just kill him because it'll clear out everything except for the Neverglade collectors.
What does he attack with is the question as well. The Overwhelm unit makes the most sense, doesn't it? But
Yeah, but I think Maykon's just too far off of winning the game to actually come back into this, unless he can find a way to remove one of these collectors. But he wouldn't be able to do it until after the Swain attack comes down and they're damaged to play that Swain's Ravenous Flock. Oh, and Glimpse Beyond is the best possible draw Orb Meister could have gotten here.
I'm not saying that I'm, able to see what's in his next card, but it was close. No, ooh. Yeah, this is painful in general, I think. The Boom Crew Rookie as well is a great Glimpse Beyond unit.
Oh,
Fear,
actually,
he has, yeah, I've just realized he has that Ravenous Flock though, so he
yeah.
can't.
I just realized that the Neverglades are stunned, so he can kill one of the Neverglades. I always forget that Ravenous Flock can hit stunned units. It doesn't come up
It
that
feels so
often.
secondary. Yeah, it's so much harder to. You don't see a lot of like Yasuo decks run around, do you?
Yeah, I don't know if Maykon realizes it, though. Does go for the Pilfered Goods to start things off. He's going to go for the
nice.
Mystic Shot on the face.
What was the other draw is always the interesting question as well. It's all fun and games until he pulls your 3rd Neverglade and you
So with the Ravenous Flock coming down onto one of the Neverglades, I'm curious to see if he Glimpse Beyonds the Neverglade or if he throws it onto something like the Escaped Abomination, or the Curse Keeper rather, in order to get off a 2 damage spell before, or rather a 2 damage draw to before both the collectors die. I think he has to get the... Yeah, I think he has to play it onto the Boom Crew, or something that is dying, rather, so that he does get to a life total where he doesn't just die to Leviathan on the open, or on the following turn. And I think...
it's definitely the right out.
Yeah, I think the Haunted Relic is gonna be lethal here. I'm not totally sure how everything is playing out. It's all very confusing. Oh, Haunted Relic's not going to be lethal because both Neverglade collectors are dying thanks to the Death Hand. Okay. Oh, this is so close.
It's a great game though. Oh,
What's the top deck? Callista, that's nothing.
that's not what he wants.
Yeah, I think Maykon's actually got this one, bringing it back from the brink. Holy crap.
Wait. No. There is a chance that there is not enough units to get as
yes.
wide as Orb Meister because of the hot. Oh, never mind. Oh well.
Yep. There that goes.
A man can dream, can't he?
Yeah.
I really thought that this was going to be like an epic wide board win with 1 damage going through.
Actually, that is still on the table. Because you can play the Elise over the stunned Escaped Abomination.
But you can still block with everything, right?
He can't block with the barrel.
Oh, you're right. Oh, he's done it.
Potentially. There's a lot Maykon can have to stop this, but...
If he has nothing, I'd be very upset.
Yeah.
If I was Maykon, I'd be so upset.
He didn't even...
Oh my god!
He didn't even play a unit over the barrel. I would have to... I mean, there are a lot of dead cards he can have right here. Things like Noxian Guillotine, Ravenous Phlox come to mind.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
This is so... I don't...
He's doing the blocking, so you'd presume there's something in hand, right?
You would think.
No. No.
Come on, give it to me.
Oh!
That's a spell.
Is it a make it rain and he has to gamble it?
That would be... I don't know what I would do if that's a make it rain.
The Ezreal Monka X.
Oh my god, he rearranged it at the last second into the one that got hit by the Make It Rain Maykon Jaxson just threw. Oh my gosh, that's going to be Orb Meister moving on to the finals. Holy crap.
You don't believe it. That is an insane ending.
And it was one-off lethal for Maykon as well because of the Make It Rain barrel damage.
Oh my god. I can't believe that just happened. And the fact that he was going to block the right one.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Alright, I am going to pull us into the Discord stream, not wasting any time. We have Pedro versus Golden Prodigy.
I believe that Frank O'Dell won his last round. I could be wrong, but I think he did because I was glancing back and forth.
All right,
God,
this is
racing.
Okay. And then we get into this game, and I see a Pilfer deck with a massive Endure on field and an Endure in hand.
Just calming down real quick.
This is why I hate Pilfer. This Endure Spider deck is already down 2 Endure. Oh, this is...
Can you imagine pulling not just an enemy's Endure, but a 5 cost? And there's 2 there.
Yeah. I'm still trying to get over the last game, too. There's too much going on right now for my little heart to handle.
He pulled a Vengeance. He pulled a Vengeance.
This is why we see... This is why we see sea monsters instead of Endure Spiders so often. If you are playing sea monsters, there's really not a lot your opponent can steal that you care about because you're willing to throw it all away to jettisons anyway. But here, there's a lot that you really don't want your opponent to steal, and their names are They Who Endure and Vengeance.
He got both. You can't really be upset with that, can you? I can't tell if the Endure that's already down there is his own, but I'm presuming it is. No, it's not. Oh, wait, of course it's not. What am I about? He's not Runeterra, is it? What am I about?
He's playing Pilfer.
He's got 2 of those, dude. I'd be so mad. Like, I don't know how many Vengeance are inside a Golden Prodigy's hand, so I'm going to have a quick look and see if it's only 1 or 2. Yeah, so Golden Prodigy's deck only runs 2 Vengeance, and 1 of them is currently in the hand of Frank O'Dell. Which in turn means that he might not have an answer to his own Endure that he's going to get played against him.
This is heartbreaking for Golden Prodigy.
This isn't even fair.
That's a massive They Who Endure, and that's the Warning Shot gonna level Gangplank and Sejuani.
I think he just wins this round if he plays the other Endure.
Oh my gosh.
This is a difficult choice, actually. What I think I still play the Endure. If he has the second Vengeance that's in his deck,
Yeah, you at least still have the warning shot Riptide on the following turn.
yeah, it's not pretty.
Ooh.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Yeah. Does still have to answer the 13 one, but...
Oh, that's... I mean, unless he has some other way of freezing that Endure. Oh! Oh, two back-to-back games of absolute excitement and fun, Boulevard. I'm not sure about you, but this is grand.
Oh, my head hurts. I'm having a heart attack, Wolf.
It's okay. It's okay. It'll all be okay. Oh, here we go. Please get the other Vengeance.
I'm actually not sure that I like that, though. It takes the Riptide Rex off the table for the following turn.
I think, since obviously he's currently winning through the absolute luck of Yoink anyway.
Yeah, I think he actually did need to make that play to get enough blockers to survive Golden Prodigy.
No, what I was about to say is that he could technically do Make It Rain and pray to the orange gods that have been on his side this entire game.
Look, we've seen Make It Rain make a devastating betrayal in the top 4 already. I would hate to see it happen again.
What great games. Great games.
Only in the OLS.
I'm just thinking back at that, the moment that Orb had a heart attack when he realised he just won. What's going on with these blocks right now? He's got a Vengeance?
I mean, he doesn't have to. I understand the Endure block onto the Callista. It takes the Crocolith off the board. You don't really need to block the Sejuani. And he actually can Riptide after the fact because the Neverglade Collector will turn on the Riptide Rex.
This is...
Oh, that one's actually... So this is a play that I've done a lot, where if you Atrocity the Callista, then the unit that she summoned can't get damaged and will therefore always survive.
Wow. That is a really cool interaction.
Actually would have been lethal, but because of the Neverglade Collector draining 3 times before the Crocolith gets to hit, we do actually see Franco Del live just a little bit longer.
He worked hard to yoink that Neverglade, I'll have you know, as well as that 17-17 Endure and the previous 13-13 Endure.
I can't believe he stole both Endures. Or at least 2 Endures, rather, not both.
Yeah, there is one more left in the deck. It's the fact he pulled the Vengeance as well, which kind of got me off
Yeah.
guard.
And I don't think there's anything Golden Prodigy can do to survive this one.
Too lucky. He's admitting it himself. He knows. He knows that he's through this through pure luck. I mean,
actually,
he's probably going to double make it rain here and
so,
get the full freeze.
Oh, I was about to say, if there is an Atrocity, then perhaps Crocolith ends the game, but I don't think there's a world where the Sejuani and the double make it rain don't turn that off. Or at least kill the Crocolith.
There's a chance. Oh! Yeah,
now there's a chance.
So the Atrocity still could be in hand, but the double make it rain is, again, if it's played afterwards, something that could really, really hamper that plan.
Yeah. And...
All
right, that's just lethal.
Yeah. I think that was the second match. I'm pretty sure. We'll soon see when this pops off.
Yeah, I had it like in the corner of my eye, so I'm not sure. I know that was at least game 2. Okay, that was actually Franco Del picking that one up. 2-0.
Wow. What incredible luck being shown there.